All right, glad to have you join us again on the show this morning on ITV. Well, while we went on the break, we were being privileged to be joined by an economist who will join us to look at the economic and the CBN policy as it has to do with the Naira redesign. Okay, and of course, he go by the name Idehe Ebonwe. Good morning. I'm glad to have you on the show.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Okay, now let's just go straight to the talking point. Why should we redesign our Naira note to start with? As some Nigerians are just asking, why do we really need to redesign our Naira note as an economist?
Well, it's normal best global practice entails that every country, within a space of 5 to 8 years on the average, should design their currency. It's normal for countries to design their currency, and I think we even wasted a lot of time. It's 19 years now that we've not redesigned our currency, and if you look at what the CBN governor said, they've improved on it, that it's going to be very difficult for you to counterfeit the money. And beyond that, looking at it's in their purview based on the act governing the CBN. Because they are the ones that control the monetary policy.
Absolutely.
And controlling monetary policy entails a lot of things. I don't think we'll have time for us to kind of like go to digress, but to shed light on that, it's within their purview to do that. And it entails a lot of things. Security-wise, looking at controlling inflation, it's also a tool, because inflation is basically caused by when too much money is pursuing too few goods. There's many parameters and all of that you look at.
But looking at our present state as a nation, economically we're trying to balance ourselves. To an extent, there seems to be a kind of economic meltdown. Do you think at this point, this is what we need as a nation?
Yeah, I think for me, you know, the Chinese man will say the best time that should have done something should have been 20 years ago, but the next best time is now. You know, it's better late than never. If you look at our economy, for example, you look at what is happening now, you need to narrow it to so many things. First and foremost, there's huge corruption in our country.
Absolutely.
And there's insecurity. Look at the issue of whereby bandits or kidnappers will now start demanding for ransom, and because of that will also curb it, because for instance now you can see that a lot of people are returning cash back to the system. Basically, he gave an analysis, the CBN government gave an analysis that you have the cash that you have in the economy is about 2-point-something trillion, and you have about 2-point-something trillion out of the economy and in private hands, and this cash is supposed to be in the bank. You see, basically, when we talk about cashless society, it started in 2012. Then I was in banking industry. You know, it's coupled with Vision 2020, because the idea then was for Nigeria to be among the top 20 economies in the world.
On the globe, okay.
You see, and it also has to do with financial inclusion. You see, those who are on the other side, kicking against it, have a very negative ulterior motive towards it. If it comes to inclusivity and enhancing employment, enhancing the microeconomy, which I believe we'll dive into this one.
Sure, we're going to get
shed
that.
light and give you very beautiful examples of things that have been set in place in terms of infrastructure, and how it also enhances time value for money. Because if you look back into time, when we didn't have a digital economy, when the banking industry wasn't digitalized. The truth of the matter is that the banking industry has been digitalized.
Okay.
They have infrastructures that have been put in place, and I will shed light into those infrastructures over time. And if you remember, there was a time that people used to queue up in banks, talk about ledgers.
That's true.
A day after, they take their tallies and they come the following day.
Just to get your cash.
Just to get your cash. Imagine how that would have impacted on our economy. But today, we need to move forward. We need to embrace the best global practice. Nigeria, more or less, the economy is too cash-driven. And we also know the implications of how we spend so much money in managing cash. It's humongous. CBN, the amount of money they spend to manage cash is humongous. Reprinting of cash and all of that. 99% of our economy is cash driven. Because if you look at our microeconomy, it's more of cash-based microeconomy. And that's not too good for the economy. It doesn't enhance financial inclusivity. And let me tell you something. There was something we did that was done over time. You find out that funds that you have in the unbanked sector are much more than the funds you have in the banking sector. Like these traders you have. You see them, when they finish sales, there's what they call this Oza. They put it in there. They go home with it. They continue their transactions on a daily basis. But you see that some people are saying the infrastructure is not there. Well, I beg to differ. The infrastructure is there. It has been created over time, gradually. If you remember, Sanusi wanted to implement this policy, this cashless policy, then. But a lot of people spoke and said it wasn't time, that they should do it gradually. And over that time, from 2012 to now, yes, the infrastructures have been improved, but they still need for us to do more. But for anybody to say we should extend it, I don't agree.
There's no point extending it.
All right. So, you know, there's been a lot of misconceptions about the withdrawal policy that was brought about the CBN. You know, normally, when a news comes out, people would wait here and there. There have been a lot of misconceptions. So I'd like you to, first of all, throw more light on what the withdrawal policy really is. Because, you know, when news comes out, it passes through a lot of corridors and it's let me say remissed, rather. So what is the main withdrawal policy for the CBN?
Basically, it's normal for people to have divergent views relating to it. Because for me, the only constant in life is change. We have to adopt that change now, because it's going to be for the good of all of us. I think the major challenge that the CBN will have and the banks will have is that they should carry out a mass enlightenment program to educate the people on
what it really is. Yes.
Because when you talk about financial inclusion, it's about all of us.
Yeah.
I believe some of us today, we do a lot of our transactions online, using our apps on our phones, we do transfers and all of that. Certain persons might not be attuned to it, but with change, which is inevitable, people will gradually drift towards that because it's a necessity. First and foremost, when I talk about this policy, most of the states in Nigeria, like Lagos, I think Kano, I think about 6 states, they've embarked on this pilot scheme long ago, since 2012. And it was supposed to be in phases, but right now the CBN has said, now we're here, we need to do this. For the question you asked, you have a limit of 100,000 per week for an individual, and you have 500,000 for a corporate entity.
To withdraw over the counter.
Yes, over the counter. That means, what it means is that you have a limit of withdrawing, say, maybe 20,000 naira a day. When it gets to 1 week and you've gotten to that threshold, you cannot withdraw again. You know, the way the system has been designed, you know, today you have what they call the BVN, the bank verification number. So even if you have an account in multiple banks, you know, the way the system is designed now, and the way, that's where fintech comes into it. Most of the banks today, they are linked together.
Yes.
You have a BVN.
That's why we have a BVN.
Yes, so if you have an account in Bank A and Bank B and Bank C and Bank D, your BVN is identical to just you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you withdraw 20,000 from a Bank A today, you can also withdraw, you can't withdraw 20,000 from Bank B again today because it's linked.
Okay, now, this is where the challenge is actually. Because as a news reporter, and also we go out to the field and we seek the minds of these people. And there was a lot of reaction, you know, on hearing this policy. Now, what people do not understand in this part is that it withdrawal, not as if they're limiting you to spending just 20,000 naira of your whole money You know, they're just saying that it is just cash withdrawal.
Yeah.
Every other spending that exceeds 20,000 naira for that week should be done via transfer. I think that's where you need to really throw more light on it.
Today, you know, if you look, there has been a lot of development in the banking industry. When we joined banking, there was nothing like automated teller machines. That's the ATM.
ATM, yes.
You know, that's part of the infrastructure I'm talking about.
And even point of sale is POS.
So apparently, there was a need for banks to have ATMs, which we have today. But looking at it, we found out that there were so many queues on our ATMs. Then there was the need to enhance the fintech sector in collaboration with the banks. Now you have point of sale terminals.
Yes, POS.
Which is POS.
POS.
In your locality, you see several point of sale terminals. That is the infrastructure. It runs with connectivity from our network providers.
Okay.
Glo, MTN,
all the
and
network
the likes
providers.
of, yes.
Yes, all those network providers in collaboration with fintech industries, InterSwitch, and all of that. So it's more of a technical thing. If you remember, people will complain and say, how, if I do a transfer, if I do a transaction and it doesn't go, what happens? If you find that over time there has been an improvement on reconciliation.
Okay.
Before, when you do a transfer and you don't get your funds, it takes you, at times they tell you to fill a form 14 days.
14, 21 days.
Automatic reversal.
Automatic reversal. But sir, today, there's what they call on us and not on us. On us means when you're doing a transfer from your bank to another bank, it takes you 24 hours for it to be resolved.
Okay.
Even when you do a transfer from your own bank to somebody else that has an account in another bank, you still see reversals within 24 hours. But the maximum today is 48 hours. So you see there's a great improvement. You see, the challenge we have is just like when we had GSM. People felt it was going to be difficult for those in the rural areas to be abreast with this. What change has come?
Now, talking about those in the rural area now, I want us to look at it this way. Let's look at the reality on ground. An average woman selling tomatoes in the market, there's no way you go to her and tell her you want to transfer when you get to buy goods from her.
That's the problem. I think that's where many residents
how do we now start to, how do we now carry these people along? Mostly those in the unbanked area, those in the rural setting. What is their fate?
Well, basically, what it means is this. What it means is that they would need to be included in the financial sector. And that is, they have to have their own banking accounts. Even in respect of that, we do a lot of transactions. Even with these people you talk, these people in this sector that you talk about. You find out that at times when you have to do some certain transactions, they tell you, I'll give you my son's account number, or somebody close to them. Okay, transfer to this person. And in the local palace, what do you use the same say, you don't see, I don't enter, that they'll give you that product which you have bargained for and bought from them.
Okay.
They do all of this. We see all of this in the market space. Because yesterday, I went to buy yams from an Hausa seller. I didn't have cash. I don't see the need to have cash. I called him. I said, how much? We bargained and he agreed on it, particular fee. And I said, do you accept transfer? He called his younger brother and he gave me his account number.
But it doesn't just come by like that.
Yeah, you must agree that this is actually
it's not that easy.
Since January 9.
It's the way for us to go. Let me tell you why. You see today, for example, it's going to eliminate a lot of things. Okay. Which, if you look at the bigger picture, favors you and I. Today, you see kidnapping. They tell you to pay ransom. They tell you to take money to them by what? Cash.
Cash.
Okay.
Hundreds of millions. You take that cash. There's no audit trail of that cash. No kidnapper will tell you, will give you an account number and say, pay into this account number. Because every account
can be traced.
I believe that most bankers today who are account officers will be up and doing, because there's what we call KYC, know your customer. You have to do due diligence on your customer. There's what we call essential location report. Do you understand? You need to do due diligence on who that customer is. Because when push comes to shove, and God forbid, a fraudulent transaction is traced to your account, the onus falls on the account officer, which falls on the bank. Because when I was in the bank as a manager, there are some accounts that even the security operatives will write to the bank asking for the details of two
querying
accounts.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
So once there's a KYC, you find out that those who carry out such transactions, kidnapping, won't have cash. A soul in this country is worth more than what anybody is talking about in this divide that is against.
Absolutely.
If that can curb that alone, because you don't expect, anybody cannot go with 100 million anymore to go and say, I want to pay for a ransom. You will have to do transfer. Because if you wait for you to be withdrawing 20,000 naira on a daily basis, how long will it take?
No, there was a time Nigerians were told to get their lines registered, their name, and we were told that there's a need for that. It will help to curtail the cash inflow that goes to kidnappers and bandits. Yet, to an extent, Nigerians are still worried. We are yet to see improvement on that aspect. Arrests have not been made. Bandits are still asking for ransom.
Let me tell you something. You see, when you hear banking rules the world, banking does. It would solve a lot of these issues.
Could it be that you're speaking as a banker?
Well, I've been in banking for 17 years. I've left 5 years ago.
So this could be emotion.
Not really emotions. You see, when you look at the world, banking drives it. There's virtually nothing that you do that is not intertwined with banking.
Yeah.
So if you want to solve security, you want to solve corruption, banking industry policies. I'll give an example. You see a lot of people complaining that you heard the Senate and House of Rep. This policy, is it a people policy? Yes, it is. Financial inclusivity is very essential. It's, look at how you have to, okay, let me give an example today. The last statistics we found out was that the POS, point of sale terminals that we have around the country was 800,000. But today it's about 1.8 million. And with this policy, there will be a lot of terminals. What has that done?
It has created
employment.
Of course.
Do you know the people that print those papers, the machines, the people that work on those machines, creates employment for them. Then secondly, corruption. There will be an audit trail. In banking, there's what they call layering, whereby people take cash, they buy vehicles, they buy houses, they buy plots of land and all of that. Cash. So there's no audit trail on it. But today you find out that corruption will be reduced. It's not going to eradicate it, but it's going to be reduced.
Okay, now, before Favor gets to you, now we've seen cases of fake alerts. It's been happening, fake alerts. You see people come to buy things and at the end of the day, you don't get the alert. Now, if this policy is already gaining ground, what are they going to put in place to ensure these guys that might be on top of their game too, just to be mischievous in a way?
Well, basically, if you go to, most of us have traveled out, you know, you're supposed to have your bank card. When somebody does a transfer to you, you're expected to, I've seen situations whereby they tell me, I do a transfer, I go to buy fuel and they tell me I don't have my card, I want to do a transfer. Just even yesterday, and the person told me, please, can you pull over and leave the queue?
Yeah,
so
and
that,
wait.
To confirm the transaction.
That transaction. Do you understand? That's where trust comes in. There are some cases where I go to, and they know me very well. Do you understand? They've been able to profile me over time, and I do a transaction, and they tell me, okay, don't worry, they go. Or they'll tell you, drop your phone number.
Yes, yeah.
You've seen situations
in supermarkets.
In supermarkets, you see situations like that.
Like for someone who's on a transit, maybe from Lagos to Benin, and he doesn't really know anyone, and
okay,
trust issue.
Yeah, trust issues. But For Christ's sake, people have been going through this, doing these transactions. You see, it's a small section of the country. The people who have negative intentions that are the one kicking against this policy. Sorry to say, politicians who have held us back over time. We must speak truth to power.
Of course.
First and foremost, it's going to mitigate against vote buying. So they don't see it at this particular point in time.
So we'll not see cash flying during elections.
What they are telling you is, they are telling you that the timing is wrong. That it's going to take them, people in the interior, they don't have banks over there, to take them hundreds of years to move cash and deposit to the bank, which is a lie. It's a blatant lie. All those local areas I will talk about, when crime is being perpetrated there and people are being asked for ransom, does it take them? Does it take the same people?
So do you think it's politically motivated?
Of course. That is why you see, under the
CBN's policy,
under the CBN Act, they're independent. Even if Emefiele sits down on his own and says, this is what I want to do, the president cannot even question it.
Well, Emefiele has actually said that this CBN policy is not targeted at anyone or any set of persons.
Yes, it's not targeted at anybody. But certain persons, if you benefit from something and the policy is not going to affect you negatively, not going to benefit from it, won't you cry for It's already going to affect a lot of persons.
Okay. All right, if you're just tuning in, this is This Morning on ITV. And of course, we have a fantastic guest, and he's been doing well on the subject matter. Well, you can also join in the conversation. The phone line will be displayed right now on your screen. We'll come back to the studio to meet our guest.
I expect to get reactions like from those who feel that the policy is going to affect them. And I'm very happy that our guest here has been able to, let it out, to let us know, to correct some misconceptions, because there were a lot of misconceptions about it. Because the day he actually came out, like, oh, so I know if they spend more than 20,000 naira in a week again. People actually had that, misconception. But now it has been said that no, it's not saying that people cannot spend more than 20,000. You're just saying that you cannot withdraw cash, like raw cash. 20,000. You can actually do other kinds of transactions.
Right,
spend your money.
Let's quickly come to the phone line. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Nigeria.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Benin.
Please just turn down the audio volume on your television set, or you walk away from it.
Walk away.
All right. Go ahead and share your thoughts.
What is in a situation that very good that loaded from that? So you have to spend some money along the way. Will you be doing transfer from dealer to the destination?
You have to come back on that question.
I think I'll let you go because it seems your network providers are not friendly this morning.
Aside that, his TV is you have to turn down the volume of
all
the
right,
TV
let's get to hear from this person. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Stanley. I am calling from Italy.
Okay. How's Italy this morning?
Well, thank God, everything's fine.
All right, Stanley from Italy. Go ahead and share your thoughts.
I was watching about, they are talking about Naira and Leaders Naira. And for the market women, for my idea that our governments have to produce what they call coins. Those like our 4 coins before that, we have a coins before, but for now we doesn't have a coins. So I think that our government should produce coins.
Okay, thank you so much, Stanley.
Thank you
for taking time to be part of the show all the way from Italy. All right,
Stanley wants coins back.
All right, let's come back to you now, Idehe. Do you think it's wise to start having coin again? Because it seems we don't value it again.
Yeah.
You barely find 5 naira notes, even 10 naira notes in circulation to an extent.
It's not really good for our economy because every kobo counts.
Okay.
We have kobo.
Of course.
Yeah.
You do transactions and you see
But we don't see it physically.
We don't see it
Yes.
physically. Because of our attitude. It's more of an attitudinal, you know, it's going to be difficult for you to drive people.
So Nigerians have their own share
Yes, we
of
have.
blame.
We do.
Okay.
We're not very, sorry to say, most times when I come here and I say
It's your
things,
opinion. It's your opinion.
we're not very disciplined people.
Okay.
We in Nigeria, we try to cut corners. And at the end of the day, it doesn't help the generality of Nigerians. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah,
what I'm
we're
saying.
trying
So
to.
apparently it's going to be a CBN policy. If you see the need to look at, to do what we call a SWOT analysis and find out how much will it cost them to decide to go and get more coins into circulation and all of that. But basically beyond that, I think he's speaking from Italy. There's nowhere in Italy that naturally, without needing to drive anybody to say this is a limit that you must have, or this is what you must do to withdraw cash. For Christ's sake, I've been to the US. If I'm entering the US, they tell you the limit of cash you must have. It's beyond $10,000. Even when I had about 9,000 something with me, I was asked questions. What are you coming to use this funds for? Do you understand? When you go to a shop and you're going there with, for you to see somebody holding a $100 bill in the US or $500,
It's
you
difficult.
use your card. It's all swiping. You swipe, you do your transactions online.
So how long do you think this will go down well with Nigerians?
It has come to stay. Like I said, the only constant thing in life is change.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. It's not cast in stone. You know, gradually, people will be, well, I do my transactions. I do use cash when I need to use cash. But you find out that some of the cash transactions that you do, you can do them online.
Okay, now, Idehe, high cost of living and constant increase in prices of goods has been a major concern for an average Nigerian. Where do you think the government is missing it?
We are not producing production. We are not a producing economy. We are a consuming economy.
Okay.
You find out that when you look at us here, your suit, your wristwatch, your tie, your glasses, the only thing.
Okay, just assessing me right now.
Yeah,
Okay, let's see
Okay.
if we're wearing Nigerian now.
Okay.
Your belt, your earrings. We're not produced there.
Okay.
Even the food. Today we talk about insecurity. Farmer headers classes. The farmers, for them to, which are places you get from the up north, who will produce the food, is a function of demand and supply. It's simple economics. If you produce so much, if you produce so much today, and the production is high, huge, it would definitely drop the price. But today, for instance, you see farmer headers clashes, you see banditry, you see Boko Haram. You hear today that farmers are being told to pay money for them to be able to go to farm.
In some places.
Then you have other bottlenecks of transportation. Then you have situations whereby they create different points where people need to pay before goods pass through the police checkpoints, collecting money and all of that. So all these things are intertwined. The man that produces will do what? He will have a markup for him to be able to kind of like get return on his investment. So that trickles down to all of us. But when we begin to produce, if we begin to produce, it will drop the price of all the commodities. Today, if you look at it, for example, most of the things that you have today, they are being imported. And where do you get those things for? You need Forex to be able to kind of like do those transactions. And what's the cost of dollar today? Even in the Nigerian market and in the parallel and in the black market. Where we are missing it is when you hear people talking about different exchange rates, regimes, what it entails is somebody who has access to Forex with the CBN, with a specific rate, goes there, gets Forex. The other person does not get Forex at that same price. apparently you're going to chase those people that are doing the same production out of the market. I'll give you an example. She gets dollar from CBN at 450 or thereabout, or 500, for example, official exchange rate. Then you are also doing the same business, and you go to the black market and you get your dollar for 700, for example, and you go to China or whatever, then import the same material that you want to use for production. So who's spending more? And you on the same business.
Yeah.
So you see, there are so many things that government needs to look at. And
so are you saying we should chase the black marketers away?
Well, if you remember, it's going to be difficult for you to chase them away because it's a function of demand and supply. If for adventure, not just the way you want to buy for, you go to NMPs today, you see a long queue, and they are selling at what? 179 naira a liter. And you know you have to go and do something, and you can't stay on that queue. What do? You
have enough for station selling for 270.
270. Maybe you might not feel your tank, but just buy.
Yes.
buy
painful, but you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay, let's take this call before we come back. Hello, good morning.
Look at the cover. It didn't really look
Hello,
so
good morning.
familiar.
Okay, we'll let you go. All right. The number is displayed on your screen. Just ensure you walk away from your television set, or you just turn down the volume on your freely. Okay,
we were actually just looking at the cover displayed on the screen, and it really looked, you know, strange a little, because it's not something we see all the time there. We can actually display it for us again. Oh, that's a 15 cover. Some of the children of this generation, I doubt if they've actually seen this cover once in their lifetime. Okay, so now back to...
But it's no longer in existence.
It's no longer in circulation.
Okay, it's circulation. If I say in circulation now,
yes,
or in existence now, probably I'll be missing it now.
Probably in existence, but not in circulation.
Economist.
Okay.
What's happening to our coins?
Coins.
Basically, to be honest with you, I don't really know why
the coin
is no longer in circulation. But looking at it from an analytical point of view,
wow,
I think cost of production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, because we're not producing it, I've not seen all the times I was in the bank, I didn't see any transactions or anybody holding coin or anything involved.
How long was that?
I worked in the bank for 17 years.
Okay. Wow.
I don't think I came...
Through your 17 solid years in the banking sector. No.
It's really serious, though.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you there?
Yes.
All right, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Benin City.
What's your name?
Michael.
All right, Michael, go ahead and talk to us.
Please, the changing of currency in Nigeria will not change anything in the policy.
Why do you think so?
It's to still remain the way they are because the price of things are already high.
All right, thank you so much, Michael. Let's let you go. All right. So he said it's not going to change anything.
Very pessimistic.
Do you think so?
It will, to an extent. It will. I'll give an example. You find out that today, you notice that once this policy comes into effect, kidnapping will reduce. It's giving. It would reduce. So that's... it will reduce because there's no way you're going to be able to transfer money to...
A kidnapper.
Nobody will take that risk.
So it's on Nigerians now to embrace this policy.
Yes. If that alone, because the function of government is to do what? Secure lives
and property.
If this policy, if that is the only thing this policy is going to achieve, I'm not saying they won't kidnap people. They still kidnap people for 500,000, 1 million and all of that. But it will kind of like discourage, because in the situation where you kidnap people and I say, we've seen in this country people pay up to 100 million, up to 50 million, 20 million for ransom.
Of course.
So with this, there's no way you're going to be getting, it's not going to be
easy to make the payment.
For you to make that payment. Even the individual, even the kidnapper will know that, okay, it's going to take you donkey years for you to amass that amount of cash to be able to pay ransom. That alone should be encouraged, is a plus. So
now, let's look at the political class. Yes. So in a way, their body language, it seems they are not in tune with the policy.
They would not be in tune.
So don't you think they will frustrate this?
They can't.
You think so?
They've gone beyond this.
They've aired their view.
Well, they will always air their view.
And the House is asking for a suspension of it.
They can't do that. They don't have the powers. If you remember, this is election season. Remember, they also kick against the beavers.
Okay.
That's true.
Why? Why did they kick against it?
You are the guest.
No,
so let us know.
It is normal in every society. You have those who have good intentions, and you have those who have bad intentions. I think the challenge the public has is enlightenment.
Okay.
I think that's what we're doing, and I must thank ITV for creating this platform.
Absolutely.
For us to be able to kind of like
understand,
shed light
yes,
on these things. You will see a lot of people having point-of-sale terminals to create employment, to reduce risk of carrying cash, to influence foreign direct investment, because there's what called financial inclusion. This policy has been proposed because Nigeria had a vision, 2020. We are where now?
2022 getting to 23.
The problem we have good policies, implementation, having the political will to put your foot down and say this is what...
And to sustain it.
Yes. For the first time, what Buhari has done, well, we call him Baba Go Slow. He said he had done it when he came in.
I'm just hearing that for the first time, dude.
They call him Baba Go Slow now. He even said it that people will say he's slow. For me, this should have been done immediately he got in and would have gone through. There would be a lot of employment. What people are not looking at is this. Today you have point-of-sale terminals everywhere, even close to your house. You don't need to go to the bank anymore, do you?
So
in some situations.
No, most times I don't even need to.
Have they looked at what they call time value for money? Have they looked at that? Have they looked at how that would impact on the microeconomy? If they do the analysis, they'll find out how huge an impact.
So the advantage overweighs the disadvantage.
Outweighs disadvantage.
Isn't this going to drive them out of the market?
There'll be some challenges. The first characteristic of a human is adaptation.
Okay.
It's biological. You adapt. So definitely human nature is adverse to change. We tend to resist. This is the norm now. This is what I used to. So over time, we'll get used to it. And the average woman that you see in the market will be the one championing it. When you do a survey much later, maybe 1 year down the line,
we'll definitely do that.
You see the reactions that yes, there will be some bottlenecks. No system is perfect. But for you to achieve something great, you therefore have to make some sacrifices.
What should CBN now do to start sensitizing this set of persons that might want to kick against, especially those that are living in the rural setting?
It's about increasing infrastructure.
Okay.
They have to keep increasing infrastructure. The telcos, in collaboration with the banks, the CBN, they have to look for how to increase their infrastructure. Remember, there will always be complaints, negative statements. This same National Assembly, they kicked against the beavers. They told you that in our rural areas, there's no network, no this, no that. But we had off-cycle elections.
And it worked.
What happened? What was the analysis of performance of beavers?
Ekiti and Osun State is a practical examples.
Are there not rural areas there? Are there not rural areas there? Are there not villages? Didn't those people vote? Was the technology not there? So it's about increasing the technical infrastructure. That's where and what they need to do.
So now for the microfinance bank, what now happens to them? How will this policy impact on the microfinance bank?
It's not going to impact them negatively.
Okay.
Some of these microfinance banks, actually, the payback system especially dealing with traders, giving out soft loans and the rest. The payback system is usually encouraged. Oh, you can actually pay small payback to the officials, especially the foot soldiers, and isn't it going to affect or, you know, put a little on?
Well, you know, because most people, or some of us, are not conversant with doing, the average woman
Yes.
might not be conversant with doing
operating
transactions.
Mobile app.
But let me tell you something. You see those POSs over there that are close to them. You go to the market space, you see like 10, 15 point of sale terminals. When they want to do a transfer or pay money to their children or siblings or something, what do they do?
Go to the POS.
What do they do? I beg.
Help me transfer this money
to
to
this
my
account.
account. Yes.
Somebody does that for them for a fee, maybe 100 naira or something.
And I hope this is not going to encourage increased fees for these POS points.
Well, you're a service provider. You provide service. You're supposed to be paid for services that you provide. Those POS points of sales, they're not charitable organizations. They need to pay those workers. It's somebody or somebody organization that owns those terminals. They employ somebody, just like you and I. Apparently, maybe I might even decide to say, okay, let me also take advantage of this and also see how I can also get point of sale terminals.
At this point, okay, let's hello, good morning. I'm sorry, I need to let you go. You must turn down the audio volume on your television set. It's very, very important so you can be part of the conversation. All right, let's come back. Here we are with you. Now, you say you want to go into business now.
I'm just chilling. I'm just trying to like...
Okay, now, to our next extent, this policy has come to stay.
Yeah.
And how can CBN sustain it? Because to an extent, one of the problems we have in government is sustainability. When another government come into power?
No, you see, funny enough, if you issue a check, this cashless policy has been on since 2012. It has been in phases. Okay. I think the bottleneck that CBN had before was when we talked about infrastructure. You know, looking at these other challenges that we're talking about. But if you look at over time, those infrastructures they've been put in place. You can see a lot of terminals everywhere. 3-4 years ago, you didn't see those terminals. There are different fintech companies coming up, developing, enhancing our payment system. All they need to do is enhance our payment system and increase the fintech infrastructure you have in the country. If you go to the first top 20 nations in the world, fintech technology is the way to go. If you look at what CBN uses to sprint these funds, it's humongous. They want to cut down on waste. I think they should be applauded. People are looking at, politicians are looking at the timing.
So they are kicking against it, or
because of politics.
Because of politics?
Because of politics. Corrupt people will frown at it because you won't be seeing Ghana must go anymore. It has eradicated that. If you do a fraudulent transaction today, there will be what they call audit trail. The transactions must have gone through an account. With a fraudulent person withdrawing 20,000 every day.
So practically impossible. All right, before we let you go,
so do you know that what that effect does on you and I? What it means is that the roads where they are cutting corners, infrastructure, school, health. Let's look at the bigger picture. With this policy, it has reduced those things. Before you go to places, you see people holding Ghana must go. To do what? Today you can't do that. Once the policy comes into place, you can't do it. If you need to do any further transaction, it has to go to an account. And till eternity, your single account 20 years ago.
Okay,
you trace it.
Before we go, the current design, to an extent, some Nigerians don't really fancy it. They felt the former one was much better.
Well, for me, I've not seen it.
Okay.
Well, from what the CBN governor said, maybe, you know, as Nigerians, when change comes, naturally.
A lot of people
Yeah.
frowned at the current
with
design.
previous currencies design that was done. People will tell you. You see, people that kick against it, they have their agents everywhere that will say, no, this currency is like this, is like that. You see all sorts on social media. First and foremost, the man has told you that they've even fortified the security features. The security features in this present note are being fortified that it will be difficult for you to counterfeit it.
Okay.
That though people can make photocopies, that the security features in this present one is even better than the previous note. Basically, what is the meaning of money? Is a legal tender. Is it accepted? Will you use it to purchase what you want? It meets the need for it.
I'm afraid this is where
the color or the picture.
that should be your concern. So, irrespective of the color, let's welcome it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much
for taking time to be with us in the studio. We'll take a short pause now and join the next segment. Don't go away.